there's one time of the year when, as a Trinidadian, I feel the most proud and the most delighted. And speaking, of course, of carnival time, as a nation, we seem to be our most creative and expressive selves. And if there's one thing that never disappoints me, it's pan. So we start today's episode of Sankosh here at the Pan Yard. Okay, so at Panorama, you have the pan and you have the lime, and part of the lime is the food. So we are going to make some great lime-in food to take to Panorama. Yes. To help me do that is my technical assistant on this show. His name is Kevin Thomas. Hi, Kevin.
Hi, Mariel.
How you going?
Nice to be on the show.
It's nice to have you in front of the camera instead of behind the camera.
Well, it's kind of strange being on this side.
Get used to it. This is my life. All right, so we're making Geera pork.
Yes.
What do we need for that?
Well, we have to have nice pork.
Right.
That's important. And we chop the pork into nice bite-sized pieces.
Right.
And we have it washed in lime.
Okay, so we've got these kind of, this is belly of pork we're using here. It's like an inch square kind of piece. It'll cook down a little bit so that you could sort of pick it up with your fingers and just pop it in your mouth or on a toothpick.
Sorry.
Or you could put it on a chopstick if you want. But so, all right, so this has been washed in lime. And what are we going to season this with?
Well, first of all, we'll go with salt and black pepper.
All right, okay. Shall I pass these things to you?
Yes. So, I'm going to make sure it's well
seasoned with salt and just black pepper, right?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, great.
All right.
Mix it up. The reason why I like to put salt and black pepper first is so that we know that it's well salted.
Okay.
Right? And then we could add all the other stuff.
All right. So tell me now.
All right, I'm going to make this kind of a old-time traditional Geera pork with star anise and cloves.
Right.
So what I'll have you do for me is grind up the
Okay.
cloves and the star anise.
In my gadget.
In your nice little grinder.
In my little grinder. Okay, so how much star anise do we want?
We only need very small quantities of this because it's very strong.
Okay.
Right, but you can put in a couple of those.
A couple of star anise.
Yes.
Right.
So the grinder will work. You'll need to put in a bit more.
Right.
But all we need to get is
a pinch of cloves.
Yes.
A pinch of whole cloves.
Nice.
All right. Okay. Let's get this.
And while you're doing that, I will start with a fresh seasoning now.
Okay.
Right. So what we have here, some peppers.
That's some pimento.
Pimento peppers. Some chive.
Right.
Right. We're gonna chop this all up.
Right.
With some garlic.
Okay.
Right.
All right. I'm just gonna turn the grinder on. This is true to say, but Geera pork seems to be one of those dishes that men make, you know, it's like curry duck and Geera pork, you know?
Yeah, especially around carnival time, it's like a tradition while you're drinking and having fun.
Right.
And you're preparing your carts to go on the streets just before Panorama, you know?
Right.
The men cook.
Right.
And it's always a tradition in my family, you know, where men cook all the meat.
Right.
And we have a good time. That's one thing about doing this. If you're not having a good time cooking, you know,
I agree.
It don't taste as good.
No, I agree.
So I'm gonna chop this
Well, no,
fine.
it's the two-sided thing. It's a good time cooking and a good time eating because, you know, eating is an essential part of the whole
That is right.
cooking experience.
Yep. And then we're gonna put all that in the meat.
Should I just give it a stir for you?
Yes. Just
All
stir.
right. Oops.
Now,
What are you
now,
doing?
I like to leave this for about half an hour
To sit.
to sit, you know, and marinate well. So you get all the
Right.
ingredients. Now, we can't have Geera pork without Geera.
Of course.
Right?
I would
So-
hope not.
So bring that, yeah.
You want? Oh, you want this?
Yeah, but-
Oh, sorry. You want a teaspoon?
Yep.
Okay. So this is
You don't wanna
Geera
put-
that we've ground
You
up,
don't want
right?
to put, yeah, this is ground Geera.
Right.
Yeah? You don't put too much of the ground Geera. Just the basic, the top organ. I'm gonna put some whole Geera too.
All right. Okay.
So
And what
pinch.
is that? Okay.
This is Geera that's not been ground before.
Okay. All right.
I find
so
it gives it a nice flavor. And then we're gonna add the cloves and the star anise now,
okay.
but not too much. I mean, it's very strong,
Right.
so you don't wanna overpower
Right.
Geera.
Okay. All right. I love star anise actually. It's one of my favorite spices.
Mine too. It's a good spice for pork. Full of aroma.
Full of aroma, indeed. Okay. So what do we need to do now, Kel?
All right. Well, we let this sit. And for time, well, we have one sitting that we did already.
Okay,
And
so,
so
we've seasoned
Yes.
some pork already because we want to leave this to marinate for quite a while.
Yes.
Okay, so we're just going to use some regular cooking
Regular
oil, right?
coconut, yes.
Okay, so we have some soybean oil here.
Yes.
Right.
nice.
Okay,
Could you add just a little?
a little more. Okay.
Yes. Because now we're gonna burn a clove of garlic.
Okay,
Right.
all right.
So make sure the whole clove is burnt. Okay, this is ready.
Okay. What do you need now?
Now we have to cook our Geera.
Okay.
I like to use whole Geera
Right.
and roasted ground Geera also. Right?
All right, so
Pretty
that looks like
fancy.
about a half a tablespoon.
Yeah.
And some, tell me how much of this you want.
Yeah.
A teaspoon?
Yeah.
Okay.
That should be good. And now
Right.
ready to add the meat.
Okay, so we're letting the Geera snap open a little bit. Right, okay. Okay. You
Now
tell
we
me
add
when.
meat.
Right, okay.
Right now.
Okay. All right, so we're basically just letting this cook on a high heat for about 20 minutes?
Yeah, 20 minutes, half an hour.
But keep checking it to
Constantly
make
checking
sure
and
that it's
stirring.
not burning.
Yes.
We're actually using a nice heavy enamel pan for this, which I think is probably a good pan rather than a thin, light aluminium pan. All right, so we're going to check that back in half an hour. Cool. This pork is smelling fantastic. And it's looking fantastic. Wow. Shall we have a little stir? I think that this is ready to be consumed or held on to until Panorama or an appropriate liming event. Kevin, thank you so much.
You're welcome.